Hey, cookies, welcome to another episode here on the Cookieverse by yours truly, Mythras Cookie. But very excited about what we have going on for you in today's episode. We got a comprehensive toppings guide for you in store. So flip me that like, smash that sub, because we got a lot coming your way. Now, in terms of what's happening in today's episode, feel free to navigate down below in the description to check out the timestamps, where I will break down all the different toppings that are available. We'll talk about the substats for you. Additionally, we'll pair the best toppings with the cookie types so that you can swiftly and quickly get up to speed on what you should be doing with your cookies. We'll give you an idea of where you can go and how to farm these different cookie toppings, and then we'll cover off with a little bit of the topping pieces and some fast facts with those, and close out finally with some tips and tricks here all around our toppings here today. Like I said, it's a very comprehensive guide. I'm excited to drive through that here for you today. But again, flip me that like, smash that sub, and if you got a question, if you got a comment throughout the episode today, please let me know down below, or feel free to hop on the Discord server, my friends. So all right, cookies, let's dive into it and see what we got going on here today. And we'll take a look at this lovely legendary Frost Queen cookie. If you watch my gotchas, you can certainly see this lovely pull and my excitement in action. Not only did we get one, we pulled two, and we got a nice little one star here. But I digress. Let's get into the toppings of today. All right. So here's what we got going on. So we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about Frost Queen a little bit later here. But first off, if you weren't aware of this, very important to pay attention to the filter. This is going to come in mind later. But we have a ton of cookies here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cookie toppings for you available to help you with your cookies as you quest in both PvE and PvP and get your teams and squads pulled together here for the game. So for CookieRun Kingdom and seeing what we have in action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break into each of these so that you can quickly understand what they are, and then we'll talk a little bit more about them. So Syrian Raspberry is an attack percent base. Next we have Caramel. Caramel here is a attack speed, again percent based. Then we have Almond. This one is a lovely damage resistance as a percent base. Then we have Kiwi toppings. Kiwi is a debuff resist. Then we have a Walnut. Walnut here is defense percent. Then we get into Apple Jelly. Apple Jelly is a crit percent. Then we have Hazelnut. Hazelnut here is crit resistance. Ooh. Then we got Peanut. Health, lots and lots of health. Very important for progression at times, so keep those things in mind. Then we got Chocolate. Chocolate here is a beautiful one. It's a cooldown percent base. This allows your turns, or not your turns, but your spells and abilities of your cookies to fire off faster on that cooldown. And then last but not least, we got Candy Cookie. Candy Cookie is an amplify buff, so making a lot of times your support cookies much better. So those are some things to keep in mind. But those are all the different cookie types. Quickly here, let's pivot back and look at our lovely Frost Queen cookie here, because what we do want to do is we want to go ahead and look at the substats. So substats are very important here. So again, we got cooldown in the cooldown, which is very important here. And what we want to do and pay attention to is this guy right here. You got bonus effects. Now these bonus effects, I'm actually going to do this. I think it will be better if we go that way. There we go. Bonus effects are arranged. So this is going to be the way to get the perfect cookie on the breakdowns that we want. So let me go back to my lovely chocolate. Now let's drop that so we can see this better in action. Let's go find that cooldown. Here we go. So again, cooldown in a cooldown. So you can get the same substats of the main stats. So that's one thing worth remembering. Very important there. The second piece piece here is, again, there is a range. So you get a low end and a high end. So when you're looking for that perfect epic topping, these are things that you're going to want to keep in mind here. So certain ones only go up to 3%, other goes up to 6. So damage resist, almost perfect. We got 5.9%. Almost perfect. That's a huge stat for us there. Cooldown is 1 to 2%. We got 1.7. That's huge again. Then we got amplify buff. Amplify buff here is 1 to 2. Again, 1.3. So on the lower end, a very healthy epic cookie topping for us here. So those are very important things to remember as you're looking to fine-tune your PvP team. Going to be very important, obviously, for PvE as well, but certainly when you get in that really competitive cookie smashing space, you're going to want to keep those things in mind. So that is a key piece here for you to remember today. The second one's the equipment piece. For 5, you can equip at 5% and get an additional 5%. Some of these we can break down into 2 things. So again, in the attack cookie here, we'll put this one up here. You can go 3% at 3, and then equip for 5. You can get 5%. So some of the other key pieces here to remember in terms of breakdown is going to be the HP. HP pairs well with attack. If you do want to split them, those are things that you can keep in mind there in terms of what you want to do and what you should remember for splitting those sets. So those are some key pieces in terms of the breakdown of the toppings when we covered the 10. Additionally, the substats and the importance of the substats and bonus effects and that doubling up effect that a lot of players forget about. And then last but not least, the equipment bonus that you can hit there with your cookies. So for example, when we go ahead and look back here at Frost Queen Cookie and we can see the toppings, we get that 18.1%. That is all these at 3% plus the additional set effects and the additional cooldowns in that space. So that's what's going on there in terms of what's happening. When we look at the skill here now, let's back out. When we look at the skill here now, we are at a 18-second cooldown. So the way that you're going to calculate that is you'll take that percent base off that time and give you an idea of, so if you go 60 seconds percent base, you can knock off the timer, you can do it off the 18. Do some fast math, was roughly between 2 to 3 seconds. So that's really going to be around a 16 to 14 second cast there. Again, with that other buff stacking is one of the reasons why I wanted to put that in there. So we'll see that in action a little bit later on our Magic Frost Queen Cookie, and very important. The other thing to keep in mind when we look at making sure we get the right toppings for our cookies is these additional things that are happening here, where the damage is coming from. So freeze damage is a percent of attack. So amplify buff is going to change that. Single hit damage, same thing, is going to change that. So keep those things in mind as you're topping out your cookies. So those are some of the important pieces that I wanted to cover around that piece. Next, what we want to do is we want to talk about the best toppings with the cookie types. So these are going to be the types like magic and those things. So when we go and look at the cookies, so let's go back to the toppings here. A couple of the key things right away is I'm going to hide all these, and the 3 main ones that you're going to keep in mind is going to be raspberry, almond, and then chocolate. So these are the damage resistance. So these are going to be your frontline tankers. Then we're going to have our searing raspberry cookies toppings here for our damage dealers. And then last but not least, again, cooldowns for things like our Frost Witch cookie here, or Frost Queen Cookie, Frost Queen Cookie, and other potential support cookies, healers, those kinds of things would fall into that category. So when we look at the different cookie types, and those are the 3 main ones. Obviously, you can play around with the others, but those are going to be very important for you to progression and focus on. And then when we break down all the cookies, We have 8 different cookies or cookie types that we can classify as. We got power, we got ambush, we got defense, we got magic, we got range, we got bomber, we got support, and we got healing. So pretty much your power and your defense cookies are going to be your front line ones. So the almond cookie, or that defense or damage resistance or damage reducer cookies or topping, is going to be the one that you're going to want. Then when we look at ambush, magic, potentially ranged, bomber, and again, magic's a dependency there, depends. Those would be the attack or raspberry, Syrian raspberry, and last but not least, we got the chocolate, which will be support, healing, magic, most likely in terms of those blends. So those are where you're going to pair the best toppings with the cookie types that are going to be very, very important for you in terms of how you want to set your cookies up for success. Next, I want to talk to you a little bit about where you're going to go farm these lovely toppings. So the first piece here is what's very important is in the world exploration, whether you're in story mode or dark mode, it doesn't really matter. What does matter is the cost of your expense there for your cookies to run those different levels. And the key here is being that the same percent chance, whether you're in dark or story, is the same from my understanding. And what you're going to want to do here is, in this example, again, we're not at that epic layer. And why I showed this was on purpose. Once you get past episode 5, you're going to get access to those epic cookies. For new players, the advice going forward here is anything past 6 on the epic cookies you want to focus on here, because we have 2, we get a equal chance at getting these different toppings here between bouncy caramel and solid almond. Again, damage resistance, which is great. But what we want to do is, once you get past into 6 will now give us gives us access, let's go find one, to our first round of epic cookies. So again, here you get your epic cookies, but you also get the other ones as well. So what you then want to start doing is you want to figure out and double up on where you want to go get cookies. So this is a great one because you can get the damage resist. But instead of going through and looking at all these, I'm going to go show you which one you should go take on. If you can get to 8, the best one here is 829. 829 covers 2 of those that we had. We have Syrian raspberry here. We also have solid almond. Obviously, we get access to these 2, so technically all 3. But this is a great one to go ahead and farm for these cookies. So ideally, what you want to do is you want to hit this one over and over and over again while you can. The other nice thing here is you don't have that limitation like you do when we go to the dark mode as well. So if you go to dark mode, you can only play the level 3 times. So that's going to be very important there as well. So keep those things in mind. But obviously here, we can begin to get the lovely, lovely epics as well. So let's flip back to the story mode. I am going to run that one for you real quick. And we're going to do this so that we can showcase that reduction on the Frost Queen. So again, before we go look, Frost Queen was at that 18 seconds. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and we'll run this for you real quick here and go for it. We are sitting at a nice, lovely power over the top. Obviously, you can auto battle these 2 if you need to. We'll stick with what we got. I like these passives here for right now. It really helps with the progression. But as we go here with this run, quickly keep in mind, let's watch what's going on in this reset. Once our Frost Queen goes off, boom, 12 seconds. I trimmed 6 seconds off of that time. So very, very powerful there in terms of that reduction and how often you can cast that. So keep those things in mind as you have your cookies. Now, I have stacks here with our decreases cooldown for all cookies by 12%. So this is a huge boost that you can add on top of what you have going on. A lot of players forget about this. So just another fun, fast tip there outside of our cookie toppings here today for you to help you out. So let's see if we can go ahead and get this cookie topping and get a nice little epic one. Otherwise, we can cry, I guess, for the rest of the episode. But no, just kidding. But there we go. Ran through it. We've got to see in the action. We got to see how this stuff works, which is great. A lovely 3-star. Do we get any? Boom. No, but we did get our cookie piece there. So that then moves into the next portion of today's video. Let's talk about these topping pieces, because that's very, very important in terms of making our cookies that much better. So again, we'll go back to the Frost Queen. So when we want to go ahead and level up some of these cookies, actually, let's go out of here. We'll find this something that we can do here. Let's go to a searing raspberry, because this would be something we would level up. So first off, you obviously, there's the toppings that you're going to need for the progression of these cookies to level up, or these cookie toppings to level up here. So you can do this upgrade. We can go to auto upgrade, and we can go up to 12. As you're going to upgrade, it's going to cost a number of topping pieces here per level. This one's 3. It progressively goes up. So to give you an idea of where you start and where you finish, level 1 starts at 3 pieces. Level 12 is 14. So this is very, very intensive in terms of scaling up these cookie toppings, and your percent of success reduces significantly. It's about 50% once you get past 60, and at that top level plus 12, it's 25%. Now, each time you miss, you do get a little bit back, which is great, but this is really, really important in terms of maxing out your cookie toppings. The next piece here is, how do you get more of those cookie toppings? So one, we showed you by running the levels. Next, again, here in the filter, this is a great way to break things down. So you want to get rid of, let's hide all types. Actually, let's go show all types. Here we want to get rid of commons, or sorry, we want to keep commons, and we want to keep rares. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to break down all of these ones here. And I highly recommend, I made the mistake, beginner tip, keep these there if you did level them for not only your progression, but some of your other lines and other backup cookies. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to break down these. So you go here. Again, you can filter like we just showed, hide all types. We'll go rare, show all types. There we go. And then what you'll do is you'll get each of these pieces. Now, here we'll get 14 at times 9. Now, what's important to understand here is these common ones here give you 1. The uncommons give you 2. If you have leveled your cookies toppings up, they will give you more. So that's something to keep in mind. But this is one way, and we'll clear these out and we'll break these down to get more of those topping pieces. So now we're up to 75, 72. Let's do one more there. 74. So that's how that's going to work. Other places that you can get some toppings, let's go back to our kingdom. Certainly you can get them from events. You can also get the toppings from the train station. So let's go check out our train station right there. We got lucky. We got some more toppings there at 7. So we'll take that right away, my friends, and load up, and we'll send this one out to go get some more. I need to get some butter. And then the other place that you can get some, obviously from events we talked about, so make sure that you're covering off on some of those. There's some good ones right now to get some toppings, but also here at the balloon, we can also get some as well. Let me see if there is should be a comment. No. All right. But that is another place that you can get there. I was looking for a explanation there, but that is okay. Maybe it's in Kingdom Affairs, Balloon Dock. No. All right, we'll skip it. But you can get them there. And then, like I said, events. So big events to pay attention to right now. I think this one's got here we go. So break your limits, Kingdom. Win with all your cookies alive. This is a big PvP one going on. Make sure you do this. It's awesome, and get some good rewards and a chance to get your Frost Queen as well. So those are all the places that I can think of at the moment. There might be one or two more to get all those additional topping pieces. Woo! A lot in our comprehensive guide here today, cookies. So last but not least, a couple things that I do want to part ways for you with is some other tips. So in terms of what we talked about with our cookies, it's generally recommended to not, let's grab all these, to not break these out between the different pieces. So again, 3 and 5, generally it's recommended to go with all 5 if possible. Certainly you can do some of these hybrid things here early on, definitely a way to go. But as you kind of move towards your max, again, you're not going to get necessarily everything unless you equip 5 as well. So that is a big piece to keep in mind. Next, your cookies level will matter. So as you level your cookies, so for in this case, we don't have all 5 yet on pomegranate cookie. You could get this to level 30, and that will give you access to all 5 toppings that you can place there. So that's another fact to keep in mind. We talked about the key things to keep in mind in some of the fun tips there with the with these toppings, where you can get the sub bonus effects to match these ones. So that is a fun tip that people forget a lot as well. And then last but not least, again, to just reinsert where you should go farm is going to be that world exploration spot 829 to get some of the best stuff. So that's my fellow cookies from CookieRun Kingdom are the comprehensive guide for you here today on the by Mythras cookie on the Cookieverse or multiverse here today. We broke down the toppings for the different cookies, the 10 types. We've also given you the 3 best topping types to keep in mind and how to pair those with the cookie types. We gave you where you can go and farm, how to farm those epic cookie toppings, and then we talked about the topping pieces where you can go find those, and parted ways with some final tips and tricks there for you today. So thank you, cookies, for tuning in. Flip me that like. Would love to see you around more on the channel. We got a lot more content coming your way. Smash that subscribe button. We'll see you again soon. So stay safe. You take care. If you got a question, if you got a comment, let me know down below. Feel free to hop in the Discord server. But we got a lot more stuff coming your way, cookies. So until then, we'll see you again soon. Mythras out.